Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
There was a night. A night was had, boys.
Oh, that guy right there.
A night was had.
Right there.
I'm going to tell you right now. We about to start making some changes around here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, acting a little different now, are we?
It's just Pat TV Designer. That's the full name now. Pat TV Designer. No, not at all.
Oh,
hey, somebody had me dying. They was like, you're too Hollywood, man. Don't get too Hollywood. I was like, Chicago fry you too much for that.
I was about to say, yeah, they'll humble you in a second
forever, bro. Like it'll never stop. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Morning Breeze, brought to you by the Windy City Breeze. On today's episode, we got to break down this schedule and find out, can the Chicago Bears find 10 wins on this schedule? Can they compete for the playoffs? They got a tough schedule ahead, especially when you're not looking at the AFC South in there. That definitely made things a lot easier and smoother. All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. The date is 5/15/2025, 7:03 in the morning. I'm Jordan JC.
What you got?
I'll have your people call my people. We'll do that.
Oh, all right.
Let's go. You know what the tough part about this statement is? Jordan's my people. I don't have people. Who are the people?
Oh, superstar Pat. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out Cloud Chasers.
Oh, boy.
Give him his flowers.
Number one, Cloud Chasers, which I always thought was a weird name for somebody. I was like, if you're chasing cloud, that means that you do anything to get. All right, we're not going to speak on it. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I didn't realize somebody in the chat was named Cloud Chasers. I thought you were talking about the label.
Oh, no.
Cloud
Chaser Radio. Showing you some love,
Cloud
man.
Chaser Radio. I see you. Okay, shout out to you.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, man. Jordan JC, how you feeling this morning, my guy?
Oh, man, I'm on cloud nine. Checking out you yesterday. We're going to go ahead and give Pat one more time his flowers. We know he doesn't like the spotlight somehow, but no, hey, man, no, shout out to you, man. I watched the whole thing when I came back from a meeting, but you, Lou Canellis, Casey Carlson, Rick Tellender, y'all did a fantastic job breaking down everything, man. Everything. You just looked very just poised, natural, like it was just your 50th time around the block on air. Like it just looked natural. The way you looked into the camera, panned to the team, look back to the camera. I was just like, oh yeah, this guy's got it. This guy's got it. But excellent job by you, man. That was fun to see. And yeah, everybody in the chat literally was like, Breeze Nation coming in droves. Like it was all Breeze Nation just everywhere in the chat. As soon as you left, everybody else was all right, I'm out. it was
man,
hilarious.
You want to know what's funny? I think that's the coolest part about all of this experience for me was the fact that that's all I heard from everybody in the family. It was like, oh, like your chat really strong. Like
seriously,
the only people that were sitting there flooding their comments was the chat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I thought that was like,
we're here for Pat,
bro. That's the best feeling for me. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I rarely do it, and I actually allowed myself yesterday to take in the moment and just be like, okay, this is pretty freaking cool. Like you're going on TV, and I mean, I enjoyed every bit of it. I hope that they have me back on again. And I mean, but it was so cool to like come back and hear like, dog, like I had so many people tell me, it was like, dog, everybody was in there just in the chat. They were like, yo, like we here for this. We're here for Pat. We're not here for nobody else. Like we out. All right, bet. Peace.
Yes, absolutely.
So
no, that was
I thought that was dope, man. I thought that was awesome. And then listen, we also had a great schedule released by the Chicago Bears out here with where I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I said, man, the Bears do not get any breaks. The Bears do not get any rest. The Bears do not get to relax to start this season because outside of the preseason, things get ugly real quick for the Chicago Bears. You start the season off versus the Minnesota Vikings. Then you go to Detroit. You play the Cowboys next at home. And then you go to the Las Vegas Raiders bye week. Now, we
yeah.
Today, and I want to break down the schedule in sections right now. And of course, when we get the full crew together, we'll do our way too early win-loss position. Loss prediction. But I know Jordan JC's got 19. But
that's right. I got every last win on this story.
He's got 2 preseason wins already chalked up as well.
Come on down. That's right.
Week 5 bye week, as early as you can get the bye week. Do you like the week 5 bye? Do you feel like the week 5 bye is too early? How do you think that's going to affect the Chicago Bears?
I've never been, that overwhelmed with wherever the bye week was. What was it last time for us? It was week 7.
Week 7
for us. So I mean, that's just a couple weeks later. I'm not too
a little more in the middle, though. It's a little more
in a sense. Yeah, it's in the middle, but I think what they're doing is in a sense saying, here's the first 4 games. This is your measuring stick games. In a sense, there's a couple of good challenges right out the back with Minnesota, right out the back with Detroit. You're going to be tested in your division right away. Unlike last year where the back end of the schedule was when we went, against the divisional rivals, and the front end of the schedule was kind of a little bit weaker opponents, eased into the season type of schedule. Here, it's just like, all right, guns blazing. You show us what you got. And so maybe they do need that week 5 where it's like, whoo, all right, let's gather ourselves, after a couple of 4 weeks, let's see where we're at, and then reevaluate. So I'm fine with a week 5 bye.
Yeah, listen, here's the thing I said yesterday on Fox. Nobody talks about early buys with good football teams.
I did hear that. Yeah,
just don't. I've never heard a Kansas City Chiefs fan or player or coach or whatever go, week 5 bye really shot us in the foot. No, who says it? Usually the teams that aren't very good.
Yeah,
if you want to be a good football team and you'll have an opportunity to prove it in your first 4 weeks of the season, you'll have an absolutely tough opportunity to prove it in your first weeks of the season. If you're one of those top teams, you're not worried about where the buy is because you find a way, right? You essentially create other buys in the season where if you're 11-2, when you go, give him a rest this week, you're a little tired.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So I think to me, the big thing, right, is the Bears get off to a great start to the season, and then that first bye week doesn't matter. Week 6, we go out to Washington. 7-15 game. Now I will say this: it's not that we believe in the Chicago Bears, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
the NFL believes in the Chicago Bears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 primetime games this season with 2 games TBD. Could have 8 primetime games this season.
There we go.
8 primetime games is absolutely insane for a team that was a 5-win team last season. If that does happen. That Washington game, though, week 6, I got confused about the schedule there for a second. In week 6, coming off of the bye, playing Washington is what shot the Chicago Bears in the foot last time. Are you at all concerned about that Washington game, 7:15 on Monday Night Football?
No, I mean, you have to kind of put that week 5, week 6.
That was
game,
week 6,
week 6, last year.
Week 7, because we were 4-2, came back from London, had to bye, went to Washington.
Right. Thank you for the correction. Week 7, and you need to put that in the rearview mirror at this point. And so I have no problem with Washington right out the gate. And I think that's actually a really good way to kind of come out of the bye week. when you know that they're your opponent and you say, okay, now we've got some time to evaluate how we've started the season. Now we know our next opponent is kind of the team that kind of set us back and started the losing going into the latter part of the season. I think this is where you need to really get prepared for that matchup. And I think Ben Johnson will have his guys ready. I have no doubt that they'll be prepared. Preparedness is not an issue. I think that will be an issue going into this season, like it was as we found out last season with the old regime and the old coaching staff. And so no problem with Washington, man. I love that matchup. We talked about it before. I think there's a lot of good storylines with that. The psyche, the mental, obviously, aspect of it and what happened to just the team and how they imploded. And so, yes, I love that matchup coming out of the bye.
Yeah, listen, I think that for me, the big thing for the Chicago Bears with this matchup is just you talk about preparedness, learn the lessons. Learn, you played this thing. And for the most part, they made some nice improvements.
Yeah.
Yeah, Debo Samuel. I think that's a little expensive, but you made some nice improvements. But for the most part, you played this team. You know who this team is. You know what this team is capable of. You know how to defend this team. Learn the lessons from last season. If you learn the lessons from last season and you apply them to this game, you should be able to come out a little bit different. I think that I actually like this Washington team, and I do think they're going to come back to earth a little bit because of how many close games, how many one-score games they actually were in last season, and how many it's like, okay, how many can you really win doing it this way? How many can you realistically find a way to win in one-score games? Can Jaden Daniels still be that same guy? After that, you've got the Saints at home. I don't know why we keep going to Washington. That's starting to irritate me. After that, you've got the Saints at home. You've got Baltimore in Baltimore. You've got Cincinnati in Cincinnati. You come home for the Giants. You're at Minnesota. You come home for the Steelers. You're at Philly. You're at Green Bay. Now, that stretch in particular from Washington to Green Bay on week 14. So 8 weeks of the season. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 home games out of the next 8 games. Is that going to be the toughest stretch for the Bears this season?
You bet it is. I mean, you look at these teams. I'm telling you, there is literally no break. You might have a little bit of a break if you're going up against the Saints in Week 7 after the Commanders game, but then right away you're going against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, who've upgraded with Derrick Henry. You're going against Joe Burrow, who by all accounts should have been and could have been the MVP because he had an otherworldly season throwing the football to T and his boys in that wide receiver core. Then the Giants, obviously made a shout out to Ringo. That might be a little bit of a break. But, I mean, that's it. Like, you're going back against your divisional rivals in the Vikings. You go against the Steelers, who are not that great of a team, but they still could pose a threat. And then, of course, the primetime game on Friday against the Eagles, which we talked about, which will kind of be a measuring stick game. You're going up against the champions, and then the Packers. There's no stop. There's no stop. Yeah. It's like every single week we want to prove, okay, are we actually the team that we have on paper? Is this roster really built to be a winner? Are we going to be in the conversation of some of the better teams in the league? Can we actually match up? And I saw a comment in here. I think it was from, I want to say it was from Crimson, where he said, he actually loves the fact that we're going up against some of the better rivals in the entire league, because I'd rather versus like last season where we try to trick ourselves into getting the first couple of wins versus weak opponents, and then we think we're a good team. But then as soon as we come up against a real challenge, then we get completely eviscerated. And so this is what I want to see. I want to see constant challenges to test where this football team is.
Oh, you're gonna get to because this schedule is dangerous. To me, that stretch right there. That stretch right there is going to be the most mentally daunting, I think, especially if you're expecting rookies to have a good impact on it. Just a lot of time away from home, a lot of time not in your own bed. That does make a difference. You get a little breaks though, right? You go 2 weeks away, 1 week back, 1 week away, 1 week back, 2 weeks away. Then you get 2 weeks back home, and you kind of finish out the season at home for the most part here. And I think here's what I'll say about this final stretch of the season. When you get to 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, you've got Green Bay, you've got the Browns, you've got the Packers, you're at San Francisco, and then you've got the Lions 3 of those games at home: Browns, Packers, and Lions. The biggest thing the Bears need to do is make those games count. Or if they don't count, it's because we could take a nap. But that's too many games, right? The last 5 games of the season, you need to make sure that those games count. Handle your business early and often. I think I'm going to be honest with you, JC. When I look at that early stretch of the schedule, I think you got to come out of that stretch at least 2-2. At least
the first 4 games.
In the first 4 games. If not, and I'm going to be honest with you, if not 3-1, because that gauntlet that you have in the middle there from 6 through 14, it's going to be tough to win games.
That might be the season right there.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? You have to set yourself up for that stretch of games in a much better way, especially with the bye week. You got Washington, you got Baltimore, you got Cincy, you got Minnesota, and I don't really care about the Steelers. You got Philly, you got Green Bay. Maybe I should care more about the Steelers. Steelers, they're probably going to find a way to be a good team.
Yeah, you got Tomlin.
You can always I throw them on there. You got the Steelers. I mean, how many wins we thinking out of that? Like, I think you could beat Washington in that stretch. Baltimore's probably an L. I actually think they can beat Cincinnati, hopefully, if this offense is moving in the right direction. But Joe Burrow. At Minnesota's a tough place to play. It's a rabid place to play. Now it depends on kind of what team Minnesota actually puts on the field. Which JJ McCarthy is it going to be this season versus the Chicago Bears? At Philly, at Green Bay, sweet Jesus. Like
sweet
Philly,
baby Jesus.
I can't sit here and tell you. I'm excited about the Philly game. I think that's going to be, and it's a little later in the season. When we were talking about it before, I was like, that could be a measuring stick game for the Bears. A little late in the season to be a measuring stick game, but right, if you're at that point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If you're at that point,
7-3,
7-4, 6-5. That could be a measuring
7-4.
game.
Yeah, right.
That's math. So you got to add it up. So it's
you shut your mouth.
Okay,
I just woke up.
That could be a measuring stick game for you if you're heading into Philly 7-4, 6-5. Yeah, I mean, but if you're like if you're 5-6, it's like, oh, this is a game we need badly.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. That you ain't lying. At first I thought it was a little bit early in the season. Yeah, by week 13, we need to be in the 7 to 8 win range at the very least. And honestly, at the very least, because you know how meaty I was going with the win total of 10+.
I love it. I love how now y'all see the schedule and you're like, oh wait, we actually got to play these teams.
I can't be scared though. I can't be scared. You know, I'm not going to back off of my prediction. I gotta go 10+. I'm sticking down. I'm standing on my 10 toes. Standing on it.
Yeah, you can stand on whatever you want to stand on.
Oh, this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be
9
crazy.
wins is crazy. I mean, hey, bro. Hey, 9 wins. You had a good year, bro.
Well, it's exciting. It's exciting.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you got to look at this schedule and be realistic about. By the way, it doesn't mean that you're all the way behind. Detroit's got to play a tough schedule too. The Packers got to play a tough schedule too. Minnesota's got to play a tough schedule too. It don't mean the playoffs are out. It don't mean that you can't. But like, bro, winning 12 games out of this schedule is nuts.
And quite honestly,
if they win 12 games with this schedule, we could be a Super Bowl contender.
We're a good team. We're a really good team.
It's not we're a good team. You win 12 games with this schedule after having 5 wins last year.
Yeah.
You're a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think you said it best. Out the gate, I think what matters most is our divisional matchups. Because if you want to talk about a good start, if you say we're going 2-2, at least let it be against the Vikings and the Lions that we win those 2 games. Now, I will say this. I do hope that we do beat the Cowboys and we beat the Raiders. The Raiders, I think, will be a lesser of a challenge than the divisional rivals. But if you're saying at the very least we go 2-2, I think the most important thing is making sure that we match up well and win our divisional games out the gate. You know, you're going to go up against a really good defense in Minnesota in week 1. And then when you go into week 2, you're right there again against the Lions in Ford Field. And so that's where I'm saying that this is where it all comes down to preparedness. This is where it all comes down to, hey, this is the challenge in front of us. Are we going to take it head on? Are we going to attack this the way our roster looks? It looks like we can compete with anybody. It looks somewhat elite. You know, there's a few more pieces that maybe we can get, but I'm telling you, at the very least, it's going to be very fun to watch what this team does.
Yeah, and listen, I think there's going to be a jump in where the Bears end up. How many games the Bears end up winning, how good the Bears actually look. Because I said this a million times about in the offseason, right before hiring Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's just, at least he's going to bring common sense. Like the video if you agree. Oh, by the way, we are.
Oh, what do we got?
JC, we are over 100 in the chat. Over 200 in the chat. 200.
Good morning.
Like, if you're right now the Chicago Bears, this schedule is going to be insane. And I said this last year. I said this in the offseason. Common sense can get you 2 more wins. So if you look at last year and you say the Bears were a 5-win team, if Fluke's just a couple of these, you're a 7-win team. If you like extend the common sense and keep your foot on the gas, like actually just be a good head coach, maybe you're talking 9 wins. That's kind of
that's where you had him. That's where you had him.
Well, I'm going at the base. Well, last year I had him at 10 wins. But I'm going at the basis. Does the common sense get the Bears back to being a basic win team?
Yeah.
This is year 1. You're not going to hit the ground running. The Vikings added some good pieces. Or maybe you do, and it was a godsend the entire time, and Ben Johnson is the greatest coach that we've ever seen in our lives, and everything's kumbaya, and it's perfect. And maybe it is.
Yeah.
But I've seen 5 new offensive linemen come together. It takes time. I'll tell you this, George JC. If the Chicago Bears, by week 7 of the season, the offensive line has gelled completely, you can be set up for a good season.
Like a good gelling. Oh, yeah.
Because that sounded crazy. I didn't like it. Because
it's cohesion.
But the problem is, right, in that time, there's a lot of games on there where it's like, okay, at Washington, at Vegas, at the Cowboys here, at Detroit, Vikings here. Like, there's a lot of games on there that you could lose.
Yeah. Oh, it'll get ugly real quick.
But it takes time for offensive lines to gel. You got 4 new offensive line pieces.
Well, quite honestly, that's the hope is that you have these veterans that have already been there and done that. That's why you get your all pros. That's why you get, a really up and coming center in Drew Dalman, who's still in the prime of his career. That's why you get a Jonah Jackson who had some really good years in Detroit, and hopefully he can run it back and be a really good piece at right guard. And so my thing is, you hope that these guys kind of get it right immediately or get it right quicker than that. Yes, it will take time. This whole entire team, hey, gotta be quick and like you do need it. There's a natural progression, right, for a team that hasn't played together. A lot of pieces are coming together now. They're forming this new cohesion, and they're learning each other. And yes, they haven't played together. I understand that, but you hope that the experience and the leadership and the accolades that they've already accomplished allows that kind of fast track itself, where in the beginning of the season you see them already kind of gelling in a sense versus the middle part of the season. Because again, I think that is what is going to take us a little bit further is, how does this offensive line protect Caleb Williams? How much time does he get to throw?
Even with veterans, right? It's 5 veterans. They got to figure out how to all move together, how to all, like.
They better be doing it now.
I mean, I get it, right? Like, that's the conversation we have when we want them to be like, remember the Titans, where they're all sitting at the table together, and for some reason, a white dude comes and sits with the wrong group, right? That's Joe Tooney. But, but if we being honest, like, even at the professional level, it takes time because of how good defensive lines are. And I'll tell you what, you got some defensive lines in this. The Vikings got a defensive line for your tail. Detroit adding back in Aiden Hutchinson. Gonna be a problem. Hey, listen, if we being honest, I believe Ozzie Trapillo is going to be the starting left tackle. He's going to get ready. Aiden Hutchinson week 2.
Better get ready.
Welcome to the NFL, young man.
Yeah. Get ready.
Week 3. Micah Parsons, welcome to the NFL, young man. Week 4, Vegas.
Max Crosby. Max Crosby.
Welcome to the NFL, young man.
Don't forget the Crosby show now. Yeah.
Like we got to be realistic about how much pressure Caleb Williams may really be under. And they're running off the edges, and they're going to pick on the weak link, no matter what, the weak link, left tackle.
Yeah. Rookie. Let's go after him first.
It's either going to be Rookie or it's going to be Braxton Jones. Either way, weak link. Now, maybe Ozzie Trapillo comes out and he's a god and he stands on the field and he's just like, Max Crosby, you sit down, have a...
Yeah, just go over there. Move.
Oh, yeah, let me put you in the same box I put Micah Parsons in last week. Maybe he has a great start to his career. He's just phenomenal.
You know what? I actually do like that. The fact that you have, if he does become the starting left tackle, you're out the gate, you're going up against the dogs of the entire league. That kind of already gets you into the right mindset of what kind of competition you're going to be facing. So if you come out at least at best, stopping them from, creating a whole lot of pressure or maybe giving up a couple of sacks in that entire week 4 span, 4-week span, I should say, that would be actually nice. I'm not going to lie.
You like it on the exciting part of what a great storyline it could be.
Oh, yeah.
But then there's the realistic part where Ozzie Trapillo was at BC blocking mugs last season, and now he's got to block freaking Mason Crosby. I'm sorry, Max Crosby. Mason Crosby. Why does that sound like a real person? Mason Crosby.
I actually think that is. Are you thinking about No, that's I'm thinking about the Pittsburgh Penguins. Hockey
that is what that is. Yeah,
I think Mason Crosby.
No, was he I don't know. Oh, the kicker. He's a kicker.
Mason Crosby is a kicker.
Mason Crosby is a kicker. Max Crosby, Micah Parsons, Aiden Hutchinson. I'm thinking about how Ozzy's. Listen, who just dropped that comment? If Ozzy makes it through that alive, I will be dropping one of these out on the field. Ozzy. Oi.
I love it.
You're
That's
right, bro. It's not a good start. That's a scary start.
We got ourselves some people movers, baby.
As Super Producer Joel holding the building, dropping the people movers in there.
Sidney Crosby, right?
It's my bad. Crosby is the hockey player. No, I knew there was a Mason Crosby out there. But no, man, listen, before we get into this next segment, we're going to take a quick break. Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below, in the comments on the chat. How do you feel like this Chicago Bears team finds 10 wins? Is this Bears team a playoff team? We'll talk about that coming up next. But first, we got to tell you guys all about our friends over at Aura. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back. Mr. Meaty, Jordan JC in the building. Pat TV designer in the building.
That's right. Oh, I love it.
I'm gonna just start calling
nice
Pat
ring
TV.
to it. Pat TV
I was cracking up. You know what had me dying? everybody was like on the part of Twitter that hates me and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, they were like, we finally found his last name. We finally got it. We got his last name. It's like,
y'all ain't know that already, right?
I don't know. My last name has been said many a times on the air.
All the time, right? They're like, you just
my last name has been said many a times, and
not a secret.
I do have a public.
Why do you think we was like, give me the gabagoo?
The gabagoo, said many a times I'm Italian. I had so many like, this dude's Italian. It was like, yeah, I'm half and half. Half black, half Italian. That's how, white mom, black dad. I mean, said that backwards. Flip that. Black mom, white dad. Something about that other combination, just a little different. Just a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about that off air. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Brother said, what do you mean? The designer is his last name.
All this time we didn't know. That's hilarious.
Oh, man. Hey, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. My dad also is always in here, and I'd be like, oh, Pop's in the building.
Yeah.
And he's got the old school formal joint. It's like Steven Moranzoni.
Yeah, straightforward.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review, and I would do. All right, let's get back into this, Jordan JC, because now finishing out the show here, and we are going to do the big show with everybody where we do the win-loss prediction here. But when you look at this schedule right now, we've talked about the most dangerous stretch. We've talked about some of the big tests. I want to hit this before we do this. Do you see a trap game on this schedule for the Chicago Bears, or is this the kind of a straightforward schedule where it's like you really don't get a break?
A trap game? I think the trap game would be the Raiders game before you go into the bye week and then go into, a more elite part of the schedule where you're facing the Commanders. Because that could easily be you know what? We just faced the Lions. We just faced the Vikings. We just faced the Cowboys. Like 3 really, really good matchups. And then we kind of, get a little bit of a walk in the park, quote unquote. So you could say, we'll just kind of take it easy. We kind of know that this is a lesser of a competition, with Pete Carroll and those boys kind of trying to form that team. And, you got Ashton Genty there. But I think you have to be prepared for that game. Those are one of the few games where you say, okay, maybe matchup wise, you dominate them, but it's still the NFL, and you're going into the bye week where you could be looking ahead to Washington and saying, all right, we really got to get prepared for them because mentally we just totally checked out of last season after that game. So don't overlook Las Vegas.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you got a full season of them.
Jesus.
Now I don't think. Because what is a trap game, right? Trap game is usually the game of a weaker team in between two good teams, two teams that you don't feel like, or you feel like you're going to have to go to war against, so you may overlook the weaker team. Vegas, I don't know what Vegas is going to be, but I don't think Vegas is going to be weak. I don't. Geno Smith is competent. Pete Carroll's going to win games, and they're going to turn around and hand the football off to Ashton Genty a lot.
Ain't been proven yet. They haven't played together.
Sit there and tell me, Bears fans, you definitely can't sit here and tell me you don't think that Ashton Genty's going to be a god the second he hits the field. You wanted to draft him 10th overall.
I wanted to count.
You wanted to trade up for Ashton Genty.
I did. Yeah, I sure did.
So you can't sit here and tell me you don't believe that he's going to be a god because you thought that was the piece that puts you over the top.
Who's catching the ball? Y'all forgot about Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers is catching everything. Talk about who's catching the ball. Brock Bowers, a god. They've had some good rookies in there.
Yeah. So.
But their O-line sucks. So did Genty's.
Yeah. Stack the box. Still killed. Yeah.
Stacking the box. He still killed him. I'm just saying. You can't sit here and have the full off season of me fighting y'all off with a baseball bat. No, Genty, back, I said. And then come in here and tell me that the Raiders is a trap game.
Yeah.
But what I'll say is you got Washington in week 6. You've got Baltimore in week 8. Week 7, you got the Saints. To me, there's a trap game there. You got Cincinnati. 9, you've got Minnesota week 11, the Giants as a trap game.
Could be a trap game, yeah.
Off of that Minnesota or off of that, you got Green Bay. The Browns are in the middle of that. Do we like the late Green Bay, by the way?
I don't mind it.
I just feel like give me week 6 Green Bay, give me week 13 Green Bay. Spread it out.
I like going against the hated rivals at the end of the season. It's kind of like the cherry on top of the season.
What it feels like? I'm not gonna lie to you. It feels like what Sox Cubs became over the last 3 seasons. By the way, they finally were like, hey, maybe we should make this interesting again and give them 2-3 game sets.
Yeah, finally.
So now, by the way, for it to be a trap game, you have to win. Can't be a trap game if you're a 5-win team.
And then you just complete, yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you see a trap game, it's because you're a winning team, you're a winning organization. But out of this, now looking at the schedule, Jordan, JC, we'll do our individual win-loss prediction.
That's right.
And I get you trying to stand by your point.
That's right.
Honestly, you see 10 wins on this schedule.
You want honesty? Plus? You can't handle honesty. You want the truth, Pat? You can't handle the truth.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, you shut your mouth. I'm always looking through meaty colored glasses.
Oh,
I told you this before. Oh boy. All right. If I'm being completely truthful, and if I'm not being biased, and if I put my Bears hat away, and if I put my love for Chicago off, I'm going 15-2.
I knew that was coming.
15.
All right, now what's the real prediction?
Let's go 9-8, Bob.
Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough schedule, ain't it?
Let's go down. Oh, Willie laughed at that.
We almost had you, Willie.
Oh, come us, Willie. Hey, if we get Willie, we're going 15-2.
If we have 15-2, I need Willie to not make the team.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm going. I know I'm off the sauce cloud. 9-8. 9-8 at the least. I really want to get to that 10 mark. I want to get to that double digit.
Listen, if they're winning and they're rolling, is different. I said this last night, right? Like if y'all were watching the Fox breakdown, like to me, I think 9 wins is safe. I do think you split with the division. I think you got 3 wins right there. I do believe that the Bears come back and find a way to win versus Washington. I think the Saints should be a win. I think the Giants should be a win. I think the Steelers should be a win. I think the Browns should be a win. Where I'm at right there. I think that's my 9, right? If I'm not mistaken. 3 against the division. Browns, Steelers, Giants, Saints, Washington. That's 8. And San Francisco. I think they'll be dead by the end of the season.
They're kind of taking a step back.
Now I say that, and San Francisco may bounce back and be like, "Hey, we're back in the playoffs, baby."
It's still ran by that good head coach over there who we tried to get.
Now, listen, if you're rolling right and you're 3-1 to the bye week, and then you get 2 more wins versus Washington and the Saints, going up against Baltimore, going up against Cincinnati might be a different situation. Going up against Cincinnati, you might be able to get that 10th win of the season. I don't know about Baltimore. Yeah. Baltimore coming out swinging, but again, it also depends on what team. I think the funniest part about all of this is we're going to make preseason predictions. We're going to make schedule predictions, and we're going to do it because it's fun to do this time of year. That's the part of the schedule that we're in. Hit the like button if y'all ready for that. But realistically, looking at this schedule, we don't know what Bears team is going to show up out on the field. We don't know what players are going to be available by the time the season starts. You hope that everybody's healthy, right? But that don't always work out. We don't know what offensive line is what 5 offensive line combination is going to be out there and how quickly they're going to gel, right? Like there's all of these things that play into this, that by the end of the season, if you find your way to 10 wins, you smoke a cigar and have yourself a great day.
Oh man.
If you find your way to 10 plus,
get you a stogie.
If you find your way to 10 plus,
yeah.
You better be planning for multiple playoff wins. Ben Johnson's coach of the year. Ryan Poles is executive of the year. Caleb Williams is in MVP conversations. Dogs chasing cats. Cats chasing dogs. Mass pandemonium.
Tory Taylor's MVP.
Torrey Taylor's in the running for special teams player. That's not an award. Torrey Taylor's a Pro Bowl punter.
That's right.
I give him Pro Bowl.
I'll take it.
Because this is a gauntlet of a schedule, and I think people look at, but again, right? I said this earlier. Nobody got a good schedule. Like, I don't think anybody is in a great situation with how their schedule falls for them. I mean, you look at the Packers. They start the season versus the Commanders. They got the Browns. Then you got the Cowboys. Now the Packers do well against the Cowboys. I'm not gonna lie. So that may be a dub there. But then you got Bengals, Cardinals, Steelers, Panthers. That's a solid 3 stretch for them. And then it gets real.
Oh, it gets
Eagles,
real.
Vikings,
Real.
Lions.
Real.
Let's hope the Bears are in there. The Broncos are back. Bears again. Ravens, Vikings.
Ooh.
That's a bad finish to the season.
Ooh.
At least ours is like spread out throughout the season. You get a couple of like that could be an ugly end of the season.
Get some tissue, Jimmy.
Get some tissue. Never mind. I'm gonna leave that joke alone. You look at the Vikings, right? Vikings got Bears.
Yeah.
They start off versus us. You got the Falcons.
Yeah.
Then you got Bengals, Steelers, Browns. Okay, stretch. Not bad there. Eagles, Chargers, Lions, Ravens, Bears, Packers, Seahawks. Seahawks is when maybe it gets easy again. I don't know what the Seahawks are. Then you finish out the season. Their finish is okay. Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. So you kind of Cowboys. No, actually, they finish is tough. Commanders, Cowboys, Giants, Lions, Packers. Like, it's not going to be a cakewalk for anybody this season. And so I think even if you're at 9 to 10 wins, you're competing in a division. I don't see a 14-win team in this division this year. Not a single
I'll tell you where I think we can get to 10 wins. This is the only way I think we can get to 10 plus wins is either we go over 500 in the division or we beat one of the teams where we seriously think we can compete with them, but we're not going to beat them because they're just still too elite, whether that be Philly, whether that be Baltimore. If we come out with a win with one of those teams against one of those teams, we go over 500 in the division, I think that's where you'll see that change in that record. That's where you'll see the difference.
I would say for you to go over 500 in the division, I'm not going to predict 2 wins versus the Packers because we know how that's going. I will say the Bears get 1 win versus the Packers. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's going to be that I think that 1 win is going to be that first win at Green Bay. I think they win at Lambeau again. And then the Packers can come here and beat them. But hopefully by the end of the season, we're not worried about it. We can be like, we weren't worried about beating y'all anyway. We got 15 wins, baby. But yeah, maybe they get them twice. That'd be great. You get them twice. The Vikings, I think, is your best chance at it. I think the Vikings is your best chance at it because to me, the JJ McCarthy, young quarterback, rookie quarterback, his second year, but first time playing. You know, how does that defense get after him? That's really the question that I think you really got to take a look at there. And that could be your 2 wins in the division. And then if you split with the Lions, if you split with the Packers, you're in a great spot.
Yeah.
You know, now you're talking about a 4-2 in the division. You got a leg up on everybody because I don't think anybody else. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think the Vikings is kind of going to be, if anybody does it, and I think the Vikings are still going to be good. JJ McCarthy's job is set Hutt. Justin, you're down there somewhere. If he's accurate, he should be able to get it to him. He may have his Bo Nix season this year. So I'm not even sleeping on them with this. And Kevin O'Connell, phenomenal play caller. The one thing I will say about this schedule too, though, is a lot of rookie quarterbacks. You have to take advantage of everyone. A lot of rookie quarterbacks. You have to take advantage of every single one.
Well, the one thing that I'm confident in is Ben Johnson's not going to let his foot off the gas. The one thing you've learned from his tenure in Detroit is that when he's been given the green light, he goes. He doesn't stop until you're almost dying. like it's one of those things where it's like, all right, hey, let's keep plowing over these guys. So that's the one thing is the mentality of the team. as I said before, the preparedness, those things I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about Ben Johnson having this team ready for the season. It's really, honestly, it could be a matter of health. It's a matter of cohesion, making sure that these guys kind of gel quicker, and how it looks at the beginning of the season. You got some really good tests at the very front of the schedule, and so again, we'll see how it all comes together.
Clayton, I didn't run through the Lions schedule. Lions start the season off with the Packers, so Lions 1-0. They got us week 2, Ben Johnson's return here in Chicago, right? No, that's up at Ford Field.
That's
So at Ford Field. Week 3 versus the Ravens, week 4 versus the Browns, week 5 versus the Bengals, week 6 versus the Chiefs, week 7 versus the Buccaneers, week 8 versus the Vikings. This is what happens when you get first place. Have fun with that. Week 9 versus the Commanders, week 10 versus the Eagles, week 11 versus the Giants. There's your break.
There's your break. Week 11.
Week 12 versus the Packers, week 13 versus the Cowboys, week 14 versus the Rams, week 15 versus the Steelers, week 16 versus the Vikings, week 17 versus the Bears. It could be worse.
I heard 2 games that are weak.
Yeah.
Steelers and Steelers
and Giants.
Giants. That's for all of us, actually. Steelers and Giants on our schedule. And maybe the Raiders.
Lions schedule. I'm gonna tell you this right now. We're gonna find out who Dan Campbell is.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out if he's the culture or if somebody else is the culture, because you ain't got Aaron Glenn, you ain't got Ben Johnson. And Aaron Glenn was calling a solid defense with me and JC out there playing DB at one point.
You doggone right.
So we'll see. Let me ask you this, Jordan, JC, before we get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to the show. Love, hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. We got 271 in the building right now on the YouTube side. Shout out to you guys. We only got 50. Oh no, is that right? 57 likes on the video. 79 likes on the video. I apologize. I was unaware with y'all game. Let's get it up over 100. Appreciate y'all for showing love. With this schedule, seeing the gauntlet that it is, do you got to pick up the phone now and call for Trey Hendricks?
I'm already calling. I'm already trying to see what kind of package.
Is now, but I mean, it's now like, now again, you're not scared, but it's now like, hey, man, all right, I got this first round pick. We don't want to be using it again. It's a first rounder. Here's some money. Here we gonna give you some players too to clear some stuff off the book. Get that man off your team.
This is what I meant about going all in. Like, you have almost a complete team. You have the depth. You have the all pros. You have the protection. You have the rookies that are well picked. Everybody PFF just gave us an A+. All the analysts said that we won the draft. We got some steals in the draft. So yes, finish the job in a sense and get the guy that has been producing at an elite level for the last couple of years, statistically, the best, in a sense, sack getter for the last couple of years. Yeah. And so, yes, finish the job. Ryan Poles, don't worry about the future. The future is now. Worry about the present. You have a challenging season coming up ahead. You need to make sure you're ready on all fronts. So I wouldn't mind a Trey Hendrickson trade.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really believe, like, if you're all in on it, and listen, I also believe that where the Bears are at right now, you can be a very competitive team with this schedule. Again, just a couple of these. I think that where the Bears are at right now, you're a very competitive team. Do you want to be a team that's put over the top? That's what it sounds like Ben Johnson wants to be. Now, do you want to give up the capital? Can you go out and find a younger piece? Can you go out and is Javon Dexter going to take a step? Is Shamar Turner going to be a monster this season defensively? Like, there's a bunch of questions that go along with this as well. I'm not sitting here saying that it's the end all be all. If you don't trade for Trey Hendrickson, you're going to lose this season. But I'll tell you what, it's a lot more of a conversation for me if you're talking about actually being put over the top in the division, if you've got Trey Hendrickson on this team. If you're talking about going 4-2 in the division, if you've got Trey Hendrickson on this team. If you're talking about when we get into that gauntlet of a schedule, having a piece that you know is going to offset the fact that they have really good quarterbacks, having Trey Hendrickson on that team.
Yeah.
Willie said, check gonna bounce with Hendrickson. Think we max salary cap already. Oh, 100%. Oh, no, you're sending players.
Well, shout out to Jay Crit. This is exactly what having draft capital is for. That's what you do. You make sure.
You okay. Cap space to pay him this year. So you sending players.
Yeah.
You trading away. Listen, Cole Kmet's gone. I know Muzz are like, why are people saying it? Because he clears money. I'm sending you Cole Kmet. You may be sending a DB. You may be sending one of your DBs. You may be sending
Terrell. Might be sending Terrell.
Do you want to pay Brisker?
Oh,
that's why I said.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow.
You're gonna get to a point with the trenches where your favorite Bears gone off of this team. Now I don't want to trade either one of them. I would prefer not to. I don't really. I'm not as outraged by Cole Kmet, but I definitely don't want to pay trade Jaquan Brisker.
Yeah.
So I mean, but we'll see what the Bears do, man. I think this is a little bit more of a conversation now, seeing how things lay out and play out, and
lay out and play out. All right,
lay out and play out, baby. And you're gonna be on the road a lot. You've got more road games, I believe, than home games this year, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you got 9 road games, 8 home games this season, and you're gonna be on the road a lot. So we'll see what the Bears end up doing. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Alex Chavez with the final comment said, do you guys think Monangai will out-touch Roshan? What are we talking about, Alex?
Yeah,
that's an interesting way to ask that question, my guy.
Week 7 starter.
Way to ask that question. By the way, Jordan JC, before we get up out of here, we are
over
200 in a share.
Okay.
Over 300 in a share.
Okay, all right.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. I do think the Kyle Monangai will out-touch Roshan, and he'll get the football more.
I don't think that'll be too hard.
Chicago, head down. One love. Peace.
Yeah.
The best show for Chicago sports.
15-2, Pat. Book it.
Book it, Dano. Eight and 9.
Back under 500.